According to the National Sleep Foundation, only 12% of Americans sleep naked, but apparently more of us should shed our pajamas and join the Naked Sleeping Club.
And there are actually some doctor-approved health reasons that we should be sleeping in the buff.
Here to break it down is sleep doctor himself, Dr. Michael Bruce. Doctor, put the science behind the mission statement which said sleep nude.
So there's a couple things that are actually really helpful for sleeping naked. Number one is your overall sleep quality. So as you fall asleep, your core body temperature drops, and that allows you to get into the deeper stages of sleep. Too much clothing on can actually prevent some of that core body temperature drop, allowing you to get into some of those deeper stages, making it a little bit more restless. Another thing is it can ignite your metabolism. We actually know that when you sleep in a cooler environment, it actually may stimulate brown fat. And if you remember, brown fat eats up the calories, doesn't store the calories.
Wait a minute, that could be the most aerobatic thing you do all day, aerobic thing you do all day.
It absolutely could, but then also, and going along with that idea, skin-to-skin touching can actually also help with this because it helps reduce overall level of cortisol. Remember, cortisol is the stress hormone.
Yes.
Can affect your immune system.
You want it high or low?
You want it as low as you possibly can get it. Also, skin-to-skin touching can increase something called oxytocin. That's the cuddling hormone. That helps lower blood pressure. The other thing is melatonin. We know that if you're sleeping in a cooler room, like in 70-degree room, it actually helps with melatonin balance and melatonin production. And finally, it's actually good for your skin.
How so?
Well, because you have more oxygen. So if you have areas with acne or rashes or things like that, getting that oxygen actually helps with the healing process.
Well, you have just made a compelling case why everybody should sleep naked, and yet only 12% of Americans do. What's the problem?
Well, I think some people feel self-conscious about it. You know, it's kind of hard to walk into the room naked and just hop into bed. I think more people sleep naked after they've had sex than previous to that. So I think there's like a little bit of thing we should start talking to people about, hey, maybe it's a good idea to consider sleeping naked.
It seems the healthy thing to do.
Absolutely. I would say that it is sleep doctor approved.
Would that be something you bring up in a general conversation when you first meet somebody?
Generally not on the first date. That's probably not going to go well for you, but maybe after you're married, maybe you want to...
What about napping naked? Is that too big of a leap?
Depends on where you're napping.
He naps
if you're napping at work, I really don't recommend napping naked at work.
And it also presents a problem if you have children, because, you know...
You have to answer questions. You know, if they come walking in.
Or if you're, like me, a sleepwalker, and it's like...
And that can actually that can be a big issue.
Right.
I do have patients who are sleepwalkers, and we have to make sure that they are well clothed, especially during travel.
Exit question. Do you sleep naked?
You know, I don't really tell people a whole lot about how I sleep, so I'm going to keep that one private. Thanks.
Well, if it's so good for you, I just figured the sleep doctor must do that.
I'm just saying I do all the things I can do to make myself have better sleep.
Well said.
That sounds like a yes.
The naked truth right there.
All right, Dr. Bruce, a real pleasure.
Thanks very much. If people want to learn more, check out my blog on Psychology Today or go to the Fox & Friends website. We're going to have a link to some more information.
Great.
Fantastic.
Dr. Bruce, thank you
sir.
for that.
Sure.